Well, welcome everyone to this is Wednesday, and that means that we are here with the health, wellness, and lifestyle programming, along with Donna Christensen and myself, Linda Dorman. That we are happy to be here bringing and broadcasting health programming to you on this wonderful Wednesday, right from the DMV and from the U.S. Virgin Islands on Roku, RTV.network, and other stations that we will name later on, because we have a very special guest that we would like to introduce to you, Khadijah Green, who is the director of the John C. Dent program, which is a initiative under the Living Classrooms program, which is a nonprofit organization right here in Washington, D.C. And we're going to talk a lot about what Living Classrooms is all about and how does it serve the community and how does it bring health and wellness initiatives and opportunities to the community. First, let's just say welcome to the program, Miss Green. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Glad to have you.
Yes, we are glad to have you, because sometimes we have a real heavy subject. Last Wednesday, we talked about behavioral health and the juvenile justice system, kind of a two-parter. And now we switch gears and kind of talk about unique learning environments, part of how we address some of the social determinants so that young people and young adults find themselves in productive environments, and Living Classrooms provides just that. So let's talk about that. Let's first make sure we understand what exactly is Living Classrooms.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here to represent my wonderful foundation. Living Classrooms, first, our whole motto is learning by doing. So we believe in providing meaningful work experiences to our clients, so that they can take those experiences and build financial stability, health and wellness for their families, and independence in their communities. We do wide range of different programs. So we have everything from early childhood development centers to Project Serve that works directly in the community. We have workforce development programs. We have marina education programs, because we're really nested in the beautiful Baltimore Harbor. So we have these wonderful ships that we do a lot of education programs with public and private schools. We do field trips as well. And we also have our environmental education program. They all run out of Baltimore. Well, our foundation has been in existence for more than 3 decades. So we've been in this business for a very long time. We also have a culinary arts program as well in Baltimore. And so after maybe 10 or so years, they decided that they were going to branch off into DC. And that's where I work. I work for our National Capital Region office in DC, and we were located in the Navy Yard, but right now we're located at the James C. Dent House in Southwest, right there by Fort McNair base. And we do the same range of programs there as well.
Who are your clients? Who do you serve, particularly at Dent House?
At the Dent House, we particularly serve Ward 6, and we're branched off to also serve Ward 7, 8, and 5 as well. Those are our cluster of clients. We work with anywhere from students in elementary level to middle school to high school in our education program. We also, with our workforce development program, we work with high school students all the way up. The oldest client I was 60. And so we partnered with several organizations as well as DC agencies. One of our premier partners is District of Columbia Employment Services and their energy office as well. Energy and environmental office. We've also partnered with CASA as well, providing meaningful experiences for our CASA youth and making sure that we're training them and giving them meaningful work experiences. and helping them as they transition on into adult life.
And CASA is an acronym for.
It's a children's.
It's a court advocacy social service group that work with
Children in foster care
within the court system,
Yeah.
whether from wards of the state or other situations.
Yes, and that's commendable. So it sounds like Living Classrooms has a variety of major programs. I was just really reviewing the website and getting so familiar with what your organization, the foundation, does. So it's a nonprofit organization that continues to need support from the public. So we encourage everyone to visit livingclassrooms.org to get to know the great work that's happening in the greater Washington, Baltimore area. And as we think about health and wellness as kind of the cornerstone, as well as lifestyle, I'm really impressed with the Be More Athletic League, because this really engages our young youth who would otherwise be out doing all kind of things that we know are challenging and problematic, but gives them a sense of direction. Can you share some of what that program seeks to achieve?
Yes. Well, I want to say one of my proudest moments is that I work with a wide range of youth. Youth that come from two-parent households, single-parent households, youth who have criminal backgrounds as well. And I've seen them go from their trials and tribulations to becoming full-time employees, starting management training, all within 1 year of working with our program. So I know that although we focus a lot on workforce development, like you said, wellness, we believe that through learning by doing, by having your life be your classroom, right? We want to make sure that we're giving our clients meaningful experiences, and with our youth, meaningful experiences where we can train them, we can encourage them through our Dress for Success program. If they need a healthy meal, we have our community pantry. If they need referral services, we have a case manager that provides wraparound services for all our clients. And we also want to divert our youth from maybe criminal activity and more positive, in a more positive way of life. And we do a great job at doing that.
You really do. Oh, go ahead, Donna.
Yes, do you work with returning citizens as well?
Yes, we do work with returning citizens. I'm glad you brought that up. We just received a grant from DOEE, which is the Energy and Environmental Agency for DC, and we have a Rangers program that will allow us to service that population as well within DC.
That's really important. Donna, can I just say this?
I just wanted her to define
Yes.
returning citizens.
I really think that is so critical, because we do have individuals that deserve a second chance.
Absolutely.
And you have to move them into programs that help to leverage that opportunity at a second chance.
We do that. We do that in our Baltimore. What we don't do in DC, but Baltimore, we have a wood a wood making program where we take youth who are currently in the court system and that need a new transition into a more positive way of life. They can join that program. They learn apprenticeship in wood in carpentry and everything like that. And they also partner with our Project Serve. Now, our Project Serve division of our foundation works directly in the cities, in the neighborhoods in Baltimore. And so they work with community organizations by, providing crisis intervention to wraparound services, job skills training. They do a wide range of stuff.
I
Okay.
love the acronym. I know it sounds like you're saying the word Project Serve, and we know what that means, but actually, Project Serve is Project Serve, and the acronym SERV, and I'm going to read it, is Service Empowerment Revitalization,
Yeah.
Validation, and Employment Training, which is exactly what not only returning citizens really need with their second chance or third chance opportunity,
Mhm.
but young individuals who are kind of moving out from a positive track and moving into that criminal justice system where diversion programs allow them to re-engage with something positive called their goals, their talents, and their skills while they're building that experimental or life experience through the giving the living classroom programs. And so I know that there's on the job training, there's, with how would we refer someone to that program that we know that might need some support or help, or how do your clients come to you specifically?
Okay, yes, we also do referrals
Mhm.
from different organizations, different agencies.
Mhm.
Currently, with me, my clients go through Department of Employment Services through the Project Empowerment program that they have. And so
Mhm.
once you sign up with them, then they refer you to us, and that's where we pick a lot of our clients for our upcoming cohorts. And so we do cohorts for healthcare, customer service and healthcare, and our partner with that is John Hopkins and Sibley Hospital right here in Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. And we are about to launch a couple other cohorts in the area of customer service, as well as environmental education and conservation.
Well, I'm going to share something with you. When I got to know about living classrooms, I thought, is there an adult version of living classrooms? Because there were so many programs that I myself might really benefit from and enjoy. And one of them was the social emotional learning. We talk a lot about what we know in health, but sometimes we have to put into practice what we know, what we talk about. And that was a program of many that under your health and wellness that I think helps to channel some of the energies that are built up, some of that anger that can't be diffused properly or in the proper ways because there's such a stigma related to accessing mental health and behavioral health services for young people. And then there's just simply that we don't know where those individuals, or those individuals do not know how to access them, particularly if they're young and
Mhm.
they're, maybe got a little chip on the shoulder or prideful, or they're buying into the stigma versus leveraging this opportunity. So, are you able to touch a little bit on that social, emotional learning program? Because this is so critical. This whole piece around mental health and behavioral health is so critical.
Yes. So with our wraparound services, we develop a individual career plan, and in this career plan, we address all the barriers to employment or to wellness, and it can range from whether it's mental health, it could be transportation, it could be housing, it could be criminal background. We work with them to eradicate all those barriers that prevent them from progressing and transitioning into their lives. And a lot of our work with our returning citizens that I briefly talked about before, I've had clients who um, were their past was pretty serious. With
Yes.
it was pretty serious, and the proud moment is that this particular client was able to overcome the mental health stigma
Mhm.
of what his offense was.
Mhm.
He was able to overcome his substance abuse as well, and he was able to find a wonderful program like Project Empowerment. I can't stress enough. Project Empowerment does a wonderful job with reaching out to the community here in DC and capturing these young people, capturing these young adults, and really refocusing their lives on a more progressive path rather than what they were on. And we pride ourselves in no matter your background, we are open. Our doors and our arms are always open to serve you and to help you be a better version of yourself. And that particular client, he completed our job skills training class, top of the class. And he also went on to serve as an intern with Sibley. And once he completed his internship with Sibley, he went ahead and applied to be a permanent employee. Now it's kind of tricky, because you have this background, and sometimes our youth, um, they make really impulsive decisions that can alter your life forever. And,
Yes.
and this young man did just that. He was a youth, suffering from substance abuse, and he just fell to the wrong set of friends, and he did not make the best decisions. And although his past could have held him back, it was one thing that we advocated for him for. We said, look at where he was, look at where he is now. He's proven himself to be a really stand-up person. And that same individual went on to get hired by Sibley Memorial Hospital. He's working in their nutrition department. And within 3 months, he has already been selected to undergo management training at Sibley. So that just speaks to how our wraparound services that we do with our clients really take effect, and how we work hand in hand with not only them, we work with their children, we work with their spouses if they have, or their significant others. We work with their parents as well. If there's any barriers in the family, we address it for the whole family as well.
Wow.
I went to that graduation, and the whole class was really outstanding. But I do remember that one individual, and yes, he had a pretty bad conviction, but his wife and his mom came to the graduation, and his mom was alive long enough to see him be gainfully employed, and I'm sure that meant the world to him and his
I'm
family.
really excited to hear that, because if you can reach one, that means you can reach many.
Yeah.
If it can be done with one, it can be done with many. And so I hope that his story or his testimony will come back and share, how he walked through that journey, because I'm sure it wasn't easy, but it sounds like he was a determined young man. But for the programs Living Classroom available and the support received, now he's a gainfully employed paraprofessional who is going to eventually become a professional in a management training program with a history that did not determine his full life journey and outcome, but gave him something better. I have to do like this. I have to applaud. Make that stop to applaud. And I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him myself. But it was a whole class. You had about how many? 8 or 10 people in the class in that particular cohort?
I'm sorry, again?
How many people graduated in that cohort?
We graduated 7 individuals that went on to internships with Sibley, and Sibley was so pleased with our cohort that they want to increase the amount of participants in the next cohort moving forward. We were able to get extra funding as well. We were able to get funding from the Jane Bancroft Johnson Foundation. They are our lead founder in this program. So we could not have done the job that we do at Sibley and with these individuals without their unwavering support.
So that brings to mind 2 things that I have. One, neither related to the other, but if someone's listening or viewing our program today that sits in a workforce development seat, that community engagement opportunity that can replicate the type of partnership that Living Classrooms has and funded through the support, what would they need to do to reach out to say, listen, we have some opportunities for young people, and we understand that there's some challenges, but we can help them to surmount and overcome and then guide them in the right direction. Because right now we need the help, but we can also provide that kind of workforce training. How would a professional in that seat reach out to Living Classrooms, and what would they need to be able to do?
Well, first they can contact me via email, which is kgreen@livingclassroomsdc.org.
Mhm.
Because right now we are expanding our workforce development program,
Mhm.
and we are looking to partner with other organizations as well. It's something that I have down the pipeline for us to do, is to do community workshops for other community groups that want to do the work that we do, and give them some like a coaching workshop on steps to building that program that you have. And I really want to focus on young community advocates, young community members that have a goal that they want to achieve, but they just don't have the tools to do it. We welcome them to the Dent House and to Living Classrooms National Capital Region Division, and we would love to work with them. So the first step is just contacting us, and we can set up meetings and help them with putting presentations together and showing them the ways that we've been able to achieve all the great success that we have.
That's wonderful. And then my second question, and we have about just a few more minutes in the first set part of the programming, and that is we're in Women's History Month right now. And so the girls of today are going to become the women making history along the way that we will look back and celebrate. And I love the fact that you have a wonderful program that really inspires girls, the Girls Empowerment Mission Program, GEMS. And can you share with us a little bit about that particular program? Because all of these address a very critical issue, and that is how to create success stories of our children, no matter what they're going to do in life, that they're not falling to a system or a behavior that's going to thwart their ability to be vibrant members of our society. And that then gets to the heart of addressing social determinants that we've been discussing that lead to health outcomes that are more positive, because it's all interconnected, as you've said before. Can you tell us a little bit about this particular program? And you have so many. We want to hear about.
Yeah. When we come back, I want to talk about robotics, but go ahead and talk about this one too.
The GEMS program, it's as simple as I can say one word: mentorship. We want to provide meaningful mentorships, and meaningful is just something that we always say. So you're probably going to hear me say meaningful a lot of times, but we really pride ourselves in providing mentorship to our youth. But with our girls, we want to pair them with mentors. We want them to give them the best skill set so that they can be the best version of themselves. Oftentimes, especially in this time, we have social media, and they look to these social media influencers as like the holy grail, right? And sometimes it gives you false.
Lots of times.
Yes, a lot of traps. That's exactly traps. And so what we want to do is, while we are competing with the Instagram influencers or the Facebook influencers or the TikTok influencers, want to give them meaningful experiences. We want to give them job skills training. We want to give them etiquette. We want to give them personal development, public speaking. I know with the Dent House, we are going to start doing a Dress for Success program. So we welcome boutiques or department stores to partner with us, so that after we train these young women, that we also provide them a career wardrobe or career outfit that they can use on those interviews that we set them up with.
And we'll come back and have some more, and then we'll talk about some of the robotics that Dr. Christensen wants to talk about, which are great. But listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break right here on the Health, Wellness, and Lifestyle Program with Linda Dorman and Dr. Donna Christensen. Viewers can watch us live on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple, Roku, Tempo, and www.rtv.network. And also can listen in at WXT Bloomberg Radio. So we'll be right back for more conversations with Khadija Green. Thank you.
I'm Charles Meriday, and I'm in the restaurant business. In my 20 years as a chef and restaurant owner, I've been able to work and eat in some of the great kitchens around the globe. There's a whole side of the restaurant that most people will never get to see. So now, I want to take you to the back of the house, into kitchens of some of the best chefs in the world. Along the way, I'll share some of my own tips and recipes so you can cook like a pro too. So join me in the back of the house for a whole new perspective on cooking and food. Order in. Roger. Serve it, please.
I'm glad that you came. Please.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one. Temperature rise, beer vibes in ya, this a hot one. Link up, connect, bust a sweat when you're dead from the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of the new MTV Caribbean channel. What's the name? What's the name?
Let's go.
And that's why tempo is so so important and sort of on point, because there's a tempo to everything that we do in the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? It's a heartbeat.
We have a whole channel, man. The Caribbean is so diverse.
And for them to recognize that and to launch a channel for that, that is totally amazing.
I started to think about all of that, and I was like, wow. I said, well, wait a minute. These are all the things that make great television.
Watch on Tempo YouTube.
welcome back. We're very excited to have with us to the program Health, Wellness, and Lifestyle with Linda Dorman and former Congresswoman, the awesome Donna Christensen. We're welcoming our guest, Khadija Green, who is the director of the John C. Dent program, which is actually an initiative under the Living Classrooms Foundation. And we've been talking about the various programs and services offered by Living Classroom, which really help address a number of things: health, economics, so workforce development, and really the health, wellness, economic, and resources, and educational opportunities for young people, young adults, so that they can go out here in the world and do something very productive and very vibrant, and that is to live on purpose. And so this program is so impressive because it addresses a lot of the health and wellness issues by addressing not only social determinants, but really training opportunities, wellness programs that give opportunity for learning and growing, and then really doing something exciting like what we're going to talk about next. The award-winning robotic program. I mean, really, we talk about making sure our underserved children, primarily children in communities of color, engage in STEM-based programs: science, technology, engineering, and math. And sometimes we add the A, arts program. So tell us about, and this is award winning. So it's not just your run of the mill. It's been awards in 2013. So can you talk a lot about that? So I know, Donna, you had lots of questions.
Yeah, because I thought robotics was all about just shooting rockets into the air to see how high they would go. And if that, so I've been educated. Go ahead, Karita.
Okay. Well, I'm not an educator either in the field of robotics, but I'll tell you what I've witnessed. So yes, we have a robotics program. We are part of the first Chesapeake robotics organization. And so we build robots. We built robots who can play basketball, move, swivel around. And so now we've just competed in our first competition last weekend, where we came in 5th place of 19. 19 entries. So we advance on to the next competition. And with this competition, our youth builds a robot that can play field basketball. So picture a basketball court, and you have about maybe 8 robots going after either the blue ball or the red ball. And each team has to shoot as many basketball hoops as possible within a certain period of time. And then they have to know how to climb multiple levels of with a bar kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, so and like I was telling my colleagues earlier in a meeting, just picture NASCAR. You know how the cars come around and then they pull over, and then like the team just shoots out and they just like whoop, whoop, with the tires and everything. That's exactly what it's like. I mean, and it's not the adults doing it that have the college education or the work experience. These are youth in our community, all over the district, as well as Maryland, that come and compete. And these kids are so awesome at what they do. Robots that I saw last weekend, I was just like so floored. I was like, wow, well, y'all make me so proud. Yes. But yes, it's great. It's great. And so we do in person and we also do virtual, because we know with the pandemic, we want to make sure that we reach all children, right? So we do that as well. And that's a part of our program. If you're a youth in our program and you do have technology issue where you may not have a computer to take part of the lessons and the program lectures and stuff like that, or even participate virtually, we also provide a computer for our youth to do so. We meet in person, we provide food, we provide everything that you're going to need to participate. Literally, the kids just have to show up. Parents don't have to pay a dime. It's fully funded by multiple different funders that want to just give back to youth. Like our most recent funder was the Alargro Foundation. I may have pronounced that wrong, but they just gave us a grant for $3,000 right before our competition began. So that is great because it just allows us to reach more children in the community.
What's
Wow.
the age group, Karita? What's the
Our age group is middle school to high school, but like one of our students is homeschooled, and if there is like maybe a fifth grader that is really, really great at science and math and very mature, they'll be able to keep up with the the pace because you have to know a certain level of coding. That's another part of this robot that's just so amazing. So our kids have their PlayStation 5 and their Xbox, right? The youth, they had to build a computer gaming system. So this is where coding comes in. They had to create their own system that can control the robot by their joystick to do all the different levels of the competition.
You know, it's so important because there's been statistics that suggest that right now, children who are in elementary school, we will not have enough individuals progressing through the 18 years, just from, from first to first 18 years of life, or from first grade to 12th grade. There won't be enough individuals trained to enter into the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM-based, particularly technology-based STEM programs, to fulfill the 200,000+ jobs that are going to anticipated being vacant then and continue to be vacant now. So it's really important. It's great to hear that the program is pretty thorough in how we take a holistic approach to that. And
I also want to, I just remember something. Our robotics program also received 2 year-round internships from Bloomberg Foundation, where they were able to serve full paid internships to 2 teen girls.
Mm-hmm.
Girl empowerment. 2 teen girls. They served at the Aerothread company here in Maryland, where they learned everything from patterns and how to make blankets for astronauts out in space.
Wow. So you're saying that out of this program and in partnership with other programs under the Living Classroom brand, that collaborative cross-program allows for young people to then touch a new workforce development opportunity, and that is internships. And in this case, internships where they learned how to design or to make, did you say
blankets for the astronauts when they're out in space?
Wow. Can you imagine being a young person knowing that you have gone from the potential of running the streets and doing some really challenging things to your life, like you said, make a wrong decision, having an opportunity to have and make a blanket that's going to go up into the rockets or the ships, or whatever, with the astronauts, and you can be proud about that accomplishment. What I love about the robotic program, and we just kind of breezed over that, it actually is very award-winning since 2013. It's won, and I just want to make sure that when we inspire those who are listening and those who are viewing to get in touch with Living Classrooms, and if you're from another state or someplace outside of the DMV area, the District of Maryland and Virginia area, then get to know programs very similar in your community. Call Living Classrooms, write them here to get referrals in your hometown, because these kind of programs exist nationwide. And we're very fortunate to have Living Classrooms in Baltimore and a satellite program that's expanding in Washington, D.C. that I know that you're very, very much part of.
We had a team from California.
You had a team from California. Well, it's so interesting because sometimes we don't really give our young people the credit. I mean, what this really is, it's called Team Fresh or Fresh Tech. I think that's what the acronym is.
Fresh Tech.
Technology, engineering, carpentry, and higher learning. I love that. That was the acronym for tech. How cool can that be?
We're going to have to send the Virgin Islands team. We're going to have to get them involved.
Yeah.
They come up to the States, but I don't, they would love it, I'm sure.
Well, I volunteered to go down there, recruit, and come back. And I would be back, but but I'll leave this wonderful cold state of Maryland,
Yeah.
go to the Virgin Islands. But congratulations on all the awards that the young people have garnered for this particular program. And that brings to mind the fact that it's also a public-private partnership. The Department of Transportation sends mentors to support them. So how does the Department of Transportation get involved actually?
So that's a good question. So our mentor, Andrew Magaletti, he is an engineer for the Transportation Department, and he's also a first Chesapeake member. And so you do have to be a part of the membership. And then there's different agencies and organizations that can partner with you. And so we were able to get the Transportation Department to partner with us. And that's how we were able to scope up our wonderful mentor, Andrew. He does such great work. I was just telling him just a little earlier today how much we truly appreciate all the work that he does, because he doesn't have to. But he does it, and he does it because he loves engineering. He loves working with the youth, and he's one of the best partners we can be working with right now in the business.
That's wonderful. And I love the fact that your education and enrichment programs are really focused in, and I love the name Living Classrooms, to provide that living real world experience.
Learning by doing.
Learning by doing.
Yes.
I love that, versus sitting back and just waiting for someone to tell you. You're hands-on.
Yes.
You have another program that also addresses, because what we want young people who are listening in as well to know, there's a program for just about everyone and everything that every interest, it seems, that an interesting program that deals within the arts. So here on our TV.network, we have various programmings that communicate wonderful art through the performing arts, through music. And this is really where it touches my soul. So can you talk about the Ascend through music programs?
Absolutely. I'm a proud parent of a Ascend child. So Ascend program basically just provides health enrichment to youth all throughout DC and Maryland. Here in DC, we partner with the Boys and Girls Club. We partner with DCPS, and we provide a meaningful experience on how to write songs, create your beats, compose your song, record your song, and then finally direct your own music video. And we have mastered that every call of duty when it came to putting a song together. Our latest song was our tribute to James C. Dent, who houses our program.
And you could talk about him when you finish this part.
Yes. And then another song that we did was Not Enough, which focused on female empowerment, girl empowerment, loving yourself, and being your authentic self. Our girls, their ages range between middle school and high school. They can sing, they can rap. They have a wonderful program coordinator, Deanna Hawkins. She also graduated from Duke Ellington. We do master classes on the weekend for our youth, where we bring in individuals in the music industry to talk to them about the industry itself or their particular skill, whether it's a DJ or how they make go-go music, or skills to being a great lyricist, how to write a catchy tune or song or whatever. And so we just want to make sure that we're providing really great experiences. And we know that some youth may not be able to get to our building. Well, transportation can never be a barrier for us, because we have programs within Eastern High School in Ward 6 of DC. We are beginning to build partnerships with Jefferson Academy to do a music program with them. And then we have our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club over at the Arch in Southeast. So we service the entire Washington, D.C. area. In Baltimore, they have a state-of-the-art music program. I mean, from they learn how to play instruments. They do that here, but our building is a lot smaller than the Baltimore's building. But they have a music room. They have a recording studio. We have a recording studio as well, where students can make their own music. They can come in after school and they make their own music, and we help them, guide them through the composure, and we record it for them, and then they can take their demo and go elsewhere and give it to other persons in the music industry as well. Yeah.
Are these programs need-based? Because, I'm just thinking about all the children that want to be able to do this. They see these opportunities, they see the beats, everyone aspires to have their creative opportunity and then go into social media and share it.
Right.
And if you're making any money from it, then let's admit these kids are very creative, and young people are very creative about their own, because we have streaming, music platforms. Are the programs that you're mentioning needs-based only, or is it by application and the waiting list? Just give us a little insight.
No, it's not need-based. It's come, apply, audition, and I'll tell you, I know like a young person or youth may hear audition like, oh, I get clammed up. The audition is really not like what you would think, like there's a whole panel and you have to sing or dance and like, oh, next. It's not like that. It's just opportunity for Miss Deanna to really get a chance to sit down and meet with you, see what you like, see what art form you're interested in, so that she can build individual plan for you. And that's about it. And then you just come to Queen Bee's or Beat Zone whenever the schedule is set up for you to meet, and you just start working on your own individual projects as well as the projects that we have assigned for you.
And I like that it has a beginning, a middle, and the end. So it's a 12-week program that goes from, entry level, teaching you, to leaving out the door, leaving your program with a tangible product called your music, and your knowledge, which is tangible, because then you can continue to go forward. How is this funded? How can, I'm hoping you get lots and lots of money as a result of being on this particular program. And so we encourage everyone who appreciates the arts and young artists learning and growing through the arts to contribute.
I think there are plans for expansion to Karita. I don't know if we have time to talk about Dent House, but maybe let's focus first on your plans for expansion.
So our expansion plan is right now we're housed at the Dent House, which is a historic landmark, but we're in the process of breaking ground for our state-of-the-art workforce and education center. This center will be along the Anacostia, right here in Southeast, and it will house our music program, our culinary arts program, a restaurant, our workforce development program, and our environmental education program. And our environmental education program provides field trips to Kingman Island, and they do environmental education at various schools throughout the district. And we also have Camp Fraser, which is a sleepaway camp in Virginia, where they learn team building, environmental science, and stuff like that. And then we have our music program. The Ascend music program will have their own studio. It's going to be beautiful. And then our culinary arts program will partner with our restaurant, much like our restaurant in Baltimore. And so we we hope to build meaningful leaders in the area of culinary arts, and get them trained to also not only work as a chef in our restaurant, but restaurants throughout the city or throughout the nation as well.
Oh, so you have restaurants. So
because we want to create a incubator of different programs. So our workforce development program is going to be a culinary arts, tourism and hospitality, customer service, healthcare, and STEM.
Wow. Wow, Donna, I always think it's important to talk about statistics, the results, but do you have some other questions? Because we have about 3 more minutes left in this program. I'm telling you, you're going to need to come back.
I think she's covered pretty much most of it, but why is Dent House historic, and will you be keeping it?
Yeah, so our office is named after Reverend James C. Dent. He was a former freed enslaved person out of Charles County, Maryland. He was born into slavery. And once Maryland's slavery was abolished, he relocated to Washington, D.C., and he became a pastor. And he built the house that we now call the Dent House. It's located on the corner of Q and 2nd Street. And it's a 3-level story house that he built with his own bare hands, right in the heart of Southwest. So the Historic Preservation Board named it as a historic space. It sits on the block that Pepco owns. So what Pepco did is they renovated the entire building and brought it back up to its glory. And they allow us to house our programs in the James C. Dent House because it mirrors so much with what Mr. James C. Dent stood for in progressing the community of Southwest, his African, his community himself, people of color, in providing meaningful experiences.
It's just staggering sometimes to think about those who have come through such remarkable atrocities of slavery and the early history of this country and all the challenges that we know that African Americans had, and think about the early property owners, those who were developing programs, who were putting together initiatives and really reaching out to the community in a very vibrant and very holistic way. And James C. Dent, it's appropriately named the James C. Dent House. And we applaud Pepco as one of your corporate partners for stepping up to the plate and doing so.
Yeah.
And, I think it's important as someone who's raised lots and lots of money over the years to talk about the fact that you have a stellar record of using nonprofit funds, charitable dollars to support your program. I know that 85% of funding goes directly to your programming. That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we encourage our corporate partners who are listening in and think about your future workforce. And we think about those individuals and institutions who want to give in order to really help to heal our community through these kinds of initiatives. I'm really excited to know that all these programs under the Living Classroom, you touch about 25,000 people annually. That is a large number of individuals in the greater Baltimore, Washington area annually. So let's give the website, because we're going to be wrapping up the program momentarily. It's livingclassrooms.org, O-R-G. So thank you so much, Khadija Green.
Thank you. Yes.
We appreciate you being here. We welcome you back anytime to talk about anything that you would like to talk about. This has been the Health, Wellness, and Lifestyle Program with Linda Dorman and Dr. Donna Christensen here on OurTV.network. Thank you and have a great Wednesday, and stay tuned for the rest of the programming on today.
All right. Thank you so much.